welcome to TalkRx with Dr. Neha. Today I have a special guest, Suzette, which is one of the people who was in one of my talks. And I offered that if anyone in the audience had a question and would like to come on live on TalkRx, that they could join me. So welcome, Suzette.
Thank you. Good morning. Nice to be here.
And you said this is something you've never done before, so it feels a little awkward.
Yes.
Yeah. Where do you feel that in your body?
My stomach, probably.
And what does your stomach feel like?
Probably. It's going like this.
Like a turning.
Yes.
So what got you to say yes then? What got you to say, I'm going to try this. I'm going to take a risk and do it anyway?
Well, I just have an issue that I have worked so hard to try to solve, and I have been unsuccessful.
Okay.
And I'm willing to try anything, I guess.
All right. Well, here we go.
I was very impressed by your talk, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So what's the question?
I am a high school teacher, and I have a student this year, and we have had difficulties, and we don't seem to be able to communicate, and anyway, it's based on that.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit about the dynamics. Like, how do you feel challenged? What's happening? So maybe I can help you with some communication tools.
Well, I've had quite a few one-on-one conversations with him, which I always do. I don't handle things in front of the class, and I'll pull him aside and just say, you know, the big challenges for me are he interrupts me, or he'll just blurt things out without raising his hand. He won't. Everyone is asked to be seated when the second bell has rung. He's still standing up. He just does little things all the time to
Kind of get your goat.
Yes. Yes. So, and the talks that I've had with him have not worked, and it's really the first time where I feel as if I haven't been able to reach a student.
And what has been your strategy in the past of reaching students? Because I'm sure you've been teaching for a little while, yeah?
18 years.
18 years.
Yes.
So you have, you
Yes.
have a lot of seasoned experience here, and there's something different about this interaction.
Absolutely. I always I tried to treat students with respect, and I genuinely like them, and so I think knowing that they care about you is helpful, that you care about them, excuse me. And I think that handling things one-on-one so you don't embarrass them in front of their peers.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
These are just little things, and I've learned to paraphrase, and so I'll say, so you're feeling this, but nothing has worked because the problems are still happening, and they don't happen every day. If we're doing something that he finds engaging, simulations, he's very kinesthetic. So, but you can't do a wheat simulation game about the economy every day. Sometimes there are lectures, sometimes you're reading, sometimes you're having a class discussion.
Right.
And you can't just blurt things out all the time. So it's from my perspective, it's very disruptive. From his perspective, he thinks that I'm picking on him, that I'm too strict, that I'm making a big deal out of
Nothing.
Yes.
Okay. So many things happening, right? Let's start. I will get to him and how you can change this, right? And how you can show up. Tell me, for you, growing up, what were the rules around rules?
Around roles?
Yeah, like
You followed them.
You followed them.
There wasn't any discussion.
Yeah, and if you didn't, what happened?
I had my mouth washed out with soap one time.
You had your mouth what?
Washed out with soap one time.
Right?
And that was it.
Done. I would never cross that line again.
Right.
And so you learned to be a good girl.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yes.
there were consequences.
Yes.
If you didn't.
Yes.
And so that's a lesson that you learned really early. And then as you went into school, you learned that when people were acting up, this is what I heard, that if kids were acting up, if you got to their heart and you built a bridge, like an invisible bridge from your heart to theirs, somehow it would all soften and they would start to follow the rules.
Exactly.
So you didn't wash their mouth out with soap.
Right.
You're like, I'm going to take a different strategy, which is I'm going to love you into following these rules.
Right.
Which is an amazing strategy,
That's
right?
true. Yes.
And it also fulfills you. It gives you connection while it's happening. So it's amazing. What's happening now is, I often say that the people we struggle with the most are our greatest teachers.
Yes.
Right? So the question becomes, what has this beautiful soul come to teach you?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's interesting.
And what would be the first thing that came to your mind? What has he come to teach you?
Patience,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and maybe not to take it personally.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken with other teachers of his, and there were behavioral patterns.
Mm-hmm. And also flexibility. There's a little
Yes.
bit of flexibility here, right? And so,
And I have been, for
yeah.
me.
I
For
mean,
me.
it sounds like you've been trying. I mean, you care so much. And this kid is telling you, like, you cannot love your way to me.
Definitely.
Right?
That's true.
So this is interesting because another really important piece is that when someone wants or needs attention, maybe not even in your classroom, but maybe in their life, they'll also even take negative attention. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's very attention-seeking behavior. Absolutely.
And so there's some need that's not being met on a sit in your seat and don't interrupt me level, right? There's this part that is like, I would guess that this person wants to be seen, but it's not by you being kind to this person. It's more about honoring who this person is, how they learn, asking for their opinion, right? Because I think this person, in the very little amount that I know about him, is trying to differentiate himself in the world. And what he does not want to hear is be like everybody else. Do you know what I'm saying? Is this guy somebody who's like a little bit eccentric and like wants to be different, and in fact his soul values uniqueness and difference?
Yes, that's a good point. Yes.
And what you're saying to him is, sit down and be like everybody else.
Right.
And he's saying, that's not who my soul is.
Right.
And so I'm wondering if a conversation with him, right? I'm just going to have it like I'm having a conversation with you. Can we just do a little role play?
Sure.
Okay, so you would be the one in class interrupting me, kind of not in your seat, like connecting, and I'm going to be you, right? So, and I'd say, hey, Suzette, I've realized I went away this weekend to an incredible workshop where I learned some communication skills that will help me, I believe, help me show up and create a different relationship to you, because I realized I was showing up in a way that wasn't working for me and it wasn't working for you.
Right.
Would you be willing to spend 10 minutes where I can share with you what I've learned and hopefully help us create an even stronger connection? Would you be up for that?
Sure.
Yeah? When's a good time for you?
I can come in after school today.
Great.
Okay.
So now it's after school
Okay.
and we're together. And I'd say, so Suzette, I just want to say thank you, because this is not the first time I've asked you to talk. And even though I'm the teacher and you're the student, and you know there's a level of power and hierarchy, which is you probably can't say no, what I want you to know is, like, I really appreciate you being here, because in the 18 years that I've been teaching, I normally can show people that I really love and care about them, and it usually helps us build this connection where I can get them to follow the rules.
Yes.
And what I've learned in meeting you is it's helping me grow as a person, because what I realize is how much you value your uniqueness, your creative way that you learn, the creative and inspired way that you engage, which sometimes comes across to me as interrupting or not listening. But I think maybe I wasn't really valuing how you learn, how you engage, and how you show up, and that you really value being with the group, but also standing out as being different. Would that be true?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So how can we work together where I can support your uniqueness and you can help me support the group learning and moving together? I want to learn patience and flexibility. And what could you help me with so that we could kind of build this win-win situation?
I could raise my hand more when I want to speak and let other people in the room speak instead of blurting out answers quickly.
Yeah, and how about
I
if
could
you
try
and
to work
I,
on that.
like, can you teach me something cool? Like, what could be a gesture that you would know that I'm not reprimanding you or getting upset or whatever? Because I'm sure even though I don't say it in front of everybody, you might feel it in my tone or my body language, or I might wince. Like, is there a cool way that I can signal you to say, like, it's that thing, like that thing, you know? So as we work through this, because we're not going to be perfect, we're just trying something new.
Right.
Is there a way? So I often have people, like, some people like a timeout, some people like, they don't like that, that feels really abrasive. They like a little peace sign or a little sign, like whatever it is, where nobody really knows, but you two know.
Right.
Right? And is there a way that we can kind of signal each other when we notice that our body is giving us these signals of a heart racing or a stomach turning, like that moment?
Yes.
And can we reconvene in a week and see how it's going?
Yes, that sounds great.
Yeah, and I'd love feedback too, because I really want to learn to be more flexible and patient and all of these things. So I want you to know this isn't a one-way learning. I don't want to just stand in the teacher and you be the student. You're almost a grown man. You're going out into the world. And I really want to be someone in your life who partners with you, not resists you.
Wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Would you feel heard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would that be different than the conversations you have been having?
Yes. I've had maybe 10% of that, or I've tried, but anyway. No, I think that would be effective.
And I'll give you the audio, like immediately, of what we have, so that you can, you know, use it to kind of construct this conversation sooner than later.
Okay.
So, what were your takeaways?
Well, I think that, I guess I've just been caught up in this old school, the world expects you to have manners, and these are just sort of conventional expectations.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only teacher who has had struggles, and
Yeah.
you know.
And then a bunch of teachers get together in the conference room lounge, and they all talk about how they're all right.
Right.
But can you believe how kids
Right.
these days?
Right, right. And so I feel as if I'm not that bad, but I've certainly been guilty of that in this case.
I hear
but
your creativity. That's what I hear. I hear a woman who is, like, has the structure of being a teacher, and it has worked for so long.
Right.
And it's worked well.
Yes.
And then you've come to this place where it's like your next level of how do I become creative? And you're curious about that. That's really what I
Yes.
heard.
Yes.
And so there's the part of me that's old school, and I'm an old school doctor, and I think this is the way it should be. And if I tell someone something, they should listen to me because I gave them a prescription for whatever it should be.
Right.
And then there's the part of me that's the entrepreneur, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what I'm hearing you say in the patience and all of this growth that's happening for you is you're just growing into, like, Suzette version 2.0. Like,
Yes.
it's the next level, right?
Yes, and you know, it is, you have to adapt and be flexible, and I guess I just feel as if I don't want to send students out of my room with an expectation that everything's negotiable with
Yep.
bosses and coaches and teachers, and because I don't think that's realistic. But
Or you can ask him, I think I haven't been hearing you. I think I've been set with my agenda. Tell me what it is that you want me to know. If I really know you, what would I know? So you have him start with the conversation. If you really knew me, you would know.
right, right,
Right? And listen underneath. I have a 5 levels of listening recording that is really going to help you. So it's listening not just for the words someone's saying, but listening underneath for their emotion, but listening even deeper for what they value.
yes,
Right? And so whatever he says to you, just listen on that level instead of being certain that he must follow the rules. He just has a different path there, and it's not through you showering him with love or trying to discipline him. And so the question is, what is the path there?
And I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
But I need to work with him to do it.
Yeah, you just want to get
Right.
curious.
Right.
Who is this beautiful soul in front of me?
Right.
And what have you come to teach me about how that day when I got my mouth washed out with soap, I believed that there was no deviation.
Right.
because that serves you. But it doesn't serve you when, like a weakness is just a strength overused. A weakness is just a strength overused. So where could your structure and strength as 18 years of experience as a teacher use a little flexibility and patience? Like, right?
Right. This is great. And I really do like him. I have moments where I'm just pulling my hair out when class is over, but I really care about him, and I do worry and think, oh my gosh,
How can I help this guy?
Right. But now I realize that he's also there to help me. So
Yes!
I think that this is great. And it's never too late, even though the school year's almost over. I
No.
really don't. I think that's why I've been so troubled, is I don't want the school year to end like this. I'm not,
So start your conversation that way.
I don't like that.
I have this sense of running out of time, but I know that it's not running out of time because your life has just begun.
Right.
And if there's any way that I can show up and impact it in a way that would be beneficial to you, I have done my job.
Right.
Yeah?
Right. And I think, it's true. I think when they really care about getting to know us, we're more likely to want to do what they're asking us to do anyway. And
Yeah.
and I thought I was doing that, but I think what I'm realizing now is that I really haven't been.
Mm-hmm.
So
here we go, version
Yeah.
2.0.
yeah.
All
This is
right.
great. Thank you.
So if any of you are struggling with connecting to someone, you've tried everything you know, and you just can't seem to find a way to connect to their heart. Maybe you're not listening to them on the level of maybe you're listening on words or on emotions, and what you need to listen on is the level of values. Paying attention and listening to what they're saying or doing, and really seeing what about that you value. And then also asking yourself, what is it that this person has come into my life to teach me? Until next week, thank you.